Industry HBO. That's how I feel about this show. All right, that's it. Happy Watch Wednesday now. Oh my god, I am like so stressed out. I am so stressed out about this show. Tej, I think we got 2 episodes to talk about. Are we? Oh no, we're 1 episode. We've got this last episode to talk about. Thank goodness. It feels like 4 episodes. Am I the only one, Tej? It feels like we just watched 4 episodes of television in this last rodeo. I mean, I thought that the oyster episode overwhelmed me, but let me tell you something about Whitney. Did anybody call it? Did anybody see that coming? Teach talk. We got to talk about the villain first because you kind of cooked me on. Wait a minute, you kind of love villains. What's going on? I can't, bro. I can't do it with Whitney. Put him on the short list. It's a very short list of villains I can't defend. Uh, One being 47, the other being Homelander. And we got to put Whitney on there, boy. I can't, bro. I can't. Teach, talk to us.
Well, first of all, I heard a criticism of this season that it has like 10 episodes worth of plot or 12 episodes worth of plot in 8 episodes. And I agree with that, but I don't think it's a criticism. This season of this show is moving so fast. And it is so cool to see a show that is like, we are going to give you hard plot, hard plot, hard plot in every fucking episode of the season. The amount of stuff that's happened across these, what are we on, episode 5, episode 6 episodes of TV is literally insane. Whitney is one of the great villains in TV history off one season of television. What he is out here doing, and now that we see the full scale of what he is a KGB Russian asset. My guy Ferdinand has been in every important scene, and we didn't even notice him. He's just in the background looking menacing. Meanwhile, he's the mastermind. This season, listen, y'all have been in these rooms with me. I've been very resistant when people mention this show in the same vein as Succession, which I hold
Yep.
in the
Okay.
god tier of
Hold on.
television.
Drum roll, please. Hold on. This is very important. This is very important, Tej. I want because we know one thing about it, Tej. We're honest. We're vulnerable, and this isn't a safe space. Okay, but we all hold ourselves accountable. And when we're wrong, we're wrong, and when we're right, we're right. But there has been a significant amount of resistance for a certain thing, especially from TJ in these What We Watch chats. And I want y'all to all listen to what TJ has to say right now. Go ahead, Teach.
I have been resistant to elevate industry, even though I love industry and I love literally every episode of industry. I love every season of industry.
Mhm.
I think that we are in the middle of the best season of industry ever, which is saying a lot because the bar is super high.
Because you say this after every season.
Because
Just
I feel like I
also
say
have
this
that.
after every season.
You do.
It is time for me to put industry in the god tier of television. It is the best show on television right now. It has the title belt. There's no show on television right now, bar none, better than this show. And this show belongs in the pantheon of all of
With
our
who?
favorite HBO shows with Succession.
Okay,
It
thank you.
goes right in there. This show is fucking incredible. This episode alone, we see Harper go to Yaz and say, Yaz, yo, this is the house of cards. It's going to come down on your head. I'm coming to you woman to woman. I'm trying to tell you, I know I'm making money off the downfall of your company, but what I'm telling you right now is I got the golden bullet. Y'all are done, bro. Get far away from this man. This man is not who you think that he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yaz
Mm-hmm.
responds as you would imagine Yaz would respond. Why are you in my face in my business and not letting me and my
Not you
husband
and
thrive?
not you and me and my man business.
We finally got what we got going over here. We got stability.
And you in
And
the
by the
way.
way, you talking to the head of comms. Talk to me with the proper level of respect. I am the head of comms. Period. I do comms. Comms is my job. So
Period.
I'm not really trying to hear nothing you're trying to say right now. And then we go
Mm.
to Harper giving her speech. She completely bodies it. People are going into the room. Yas comes into the room. We see, oh shit, they showed that picture with this big ass fake ass check, and everybody in this room is starting to buy what Harper is selling. Shit looking bad. Meanwhile, we ain't seen the white man from Africa. We ain't heard from this guy. Now we see that he actually is in the pocket of Harper, and he's coming to America. We have the whole gay thing. I didn't even mention the fact that we got a glory hole scene in the middle of this episode
Hold
where
on now.
Monique's boyfriend went to go to the glory hole in the gay club and got his
Now
neck
hold on
rubbed by
now.
Whitney. We hadn't
Now hold
even
on now,
mentioned that.
T. Now hold on now. First of all, one thing about it, people do be gay. People be gay. And that is okay. Okay? We were at school. Everyone knows you can be homo at school. Okay? You can be gay at school. Maybe once you've graduated from university, maybe you can't be gay after that. But no homo doesn't count in school. All right? And people be gay. And I think that's really what this show is about. People do be gay.
And
And I'm
Yaz knows. Yaz can see that Whitney has his eyes on Henry.
and
Yaz see.
I'm gonna expose you just a little bit, T, just because I have to, because we obviously have to chit chat during the show to make sure that we're catching everything, and then we do a quick little rewatch too. And I just feel like, Tej, I feel like you kind of messed up on this one a little bit. You kind of misread my guy Henry Muck a little bit. But people do be gay. The thing about it is, I don't know if Henry is. I think Henry is appropriately and respectfully and politically correct by curious, right? And everything. We love everyone across every spectrum of fluidity with gayness and all of the things. But I think they're really doing a good job in the writer's room, showing you the tension. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I say I'm a broken record, and I'm a broken record saying a broken record. Sex is not about the orientation or the orgasm or the pleasure. It's about what, Teach? What is sex about in the show?
Power.
That's it. It's just a power dynamic. How much power can I have over you? What can I use you for? What can you use me for? What am I willing to give you? What dark, fucked up bed am I willing to put you in with me? I don't care about being gay. I want to know how, if I go down, are you going down with me? And I think, it's so beautiful that they show that through the sexuality, because it's very hard to miss. But I think what's happening with this show, TJ, we're touching on it a little bit with talking about Whitney and Yasmin and Harper. I also have to admit a thing, because I've been talking shit about my girl in the best way. I want to be very clear. Talking shit, like not saying anything positive about her, but also supporting her, okay? I support women's rights and their wrongs. But I have one thing to say now about Harper, and I don't care. Y'all can cook me if y'all want to. We'll see how the season ends. Harper might be a good person. Harper might
Monique, please stop this.
be Harper might not, okay, let me rephrase. Harper might not be a bad person. A bad person is not going to warn Yaz. She's not. She calling Yaz and she's like, hey, just so you know, you finna get cooked. Click. That's the Harper that I would define. But my girl came in and she was like, hey, look. I'm gonna give you an opportunity, because I'm letting you know, like, we hit the jackpot. We're about to cook the fuck out of Tinder 2.0. Your boy's a liar. Why do you trust this man Whitney? Look, I don't even care. I went to your wedding, my girl. You and your wedding and all that, that's fine. But did you and your little stable husband, your little crazy ass, bi-curious, drug abusing, wealthy, oh, daddy issues husband, did y'all vet this man properly? I'm trying to help you out. And it just, to me, that scene, opening with that scene is so important, because we will always sit alone with Yasmin and Harper. It'll be season 15 and we're going to be alone with Yasmin and Harper in a room. And the important thing is that the power dynamic changes every time. Harper came in there like, my girl, I'm trying to help you out. And Yasmin said, in her orange blouse, which I need the details of. Yasmin said, you hating ass bitch, you always in the motherfucking way. And then what? Now you see me. Now you're in there while I said, hey, we not going to give you no millie mouth bullshit. I'm not going to try to tell you how to get ahead. I'm not going to sit up here and bullshit you in this forum about how to get it out the mud and how to fuck that. I'm finna show you in real time how a bitch work, how a bad bitch work. And Yasmin had to eat that. Yasmin, I want you to take less L's, but it is what it is. Diner in the Dash, talk to me.
Well, I am glad to be joining for an industry chat for the first time. So I don't just have this episode of industry in my head. I have all four seasons, which I have watched since just after Christmas.
It's so different than binging. Tell us how you're feeling.
Well, I'm so glad I finally watched it. I think I watched the first couple episodes when it first came out. I don't even know what year that was, but it's when I was watching
I'm
Succession
21.
2, and I didn't want to watch another show about rich people, and I saw that Lena Dunham directed the first episode, and that sort of rubbed me the wrong way too. And so I'm glad I finally got back to it. So
I'm
yay.
so glad too.
Um, I like there were two turning points for me, and like what took the show to the next level as I've watched it all. The first was last season when what's his name, Henry, trips mushrooms. If this might have been over two episodes, he trips on mushrooms with the other guy, and then he almost kills himself when his the same day his father does, and so that was like the first. I was like, all right. I mean, I was enjoying the show the whole time, but then when that happened, I was like, it was like, all right, this is going to the next level. But then this whole season has just kept it so high, and I enjoy so many of the performance, but I also enjoy, I don't know if cruelty is the right word, but the way that the show it can just add and drop characters or dismiss them. I don't know if they're doing it intentionally to mirror the world of finance and whatnot, but it seems like they are. Like the first episode, the kid dies, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a focal point of the whole season. The company having to deal with their kid that died. No, that's not. No one even cares about that by the end of the first season. Um, and like we say
A
goodbye.
lot of people died in the first season. They were like, "Well, it's part of the game. Game is the game.
Yeah,
People die every day."
and there are other characters that were in the major plots in the first couple seasons that just including like the good-looking blonde kid who was in like who was Yasmin's sort of half-love thing. I loved him. I'm sad he's not
Robert,
here
we
anymore,
love
but
Robert.
yeah, but that's all right. But it's such a well-known, well-done show, and they've managed to escalate the intrigue both within the characters, the interdimensions of the characters. Like I'm not sure about Harper being a good person because I think Harper gets off on that shit when she's able to tell Yasmin that she's right and Yasmin's fucking up. And
It doesn't
I mean,
matter
there
that
could
she
be,
gets
there
off
could
on
be
it.
good, there could be goodness in her heart, maybe somewhere, but I think that's not her main motivation for
I
putting
think
herself in
I
that
think y'all
situation.
sleep on how my girl's grieving. She cried walking away from Eric. Her mother just died. I don't know, guys. I'm on the full on
She
train. Y'all need to give my
stop that.
black queen. Y'all need to give my black queen some grace. I'm in it.
She is a
I'm in it
bad
deep.
person who has love for Yasmin. They have love for each other. They've been through the worst together. The fact that she has love for Yasmin doesn't make her a good person.
The
Please
worst
stop that.
people don't be having love for nobody but themselves. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. I think
Well,
my girl just needs a little therapy and a little love.
A lot of therapy.
David, what do you think? Go ahead.
I keep going back to what I said originally. I think the week before last or whatever, when we were talking, which is that I think the what makes this show for me, because I've been pretty much since season two saying that this show is one of the best shows on television. I really didn't need that much time because of the level of integrity to which they show the characters, and that's very important to me for a long time now as I've watched TV is to see how starting. I think The Wire was my first lesson in like, okay, this is what television should be doing, or any really movies, anything, any media. But when it's that restraint you have to not do some of the things that we saw, if whoever might have seen it, the America's Next Top Model documentary, where they're moving away from their ethical situation because what makes great TV. And it doesn't always have to be as serious as what's going on with America's Next Top Model. It's there's other ways of that integrity being lost because you're pushing for what works for TV or what's going to keep people watching, and you start fucking up your characters. We have a great example of that in the later seasons of Game of
Game
Thrones,
of Thrones.
and so I think that this show has really had an integrity to do sometimes what is actually not popular for keeping people glued to television. Some of which we
And
have seen
still
in these kind
so
of things.
fucking well done. You don't
Eh,
have to be
eh,
popular to be brilliant. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that and at
Yeah.
the end of the day, oftentimes it is by subverting audience expectations that you end up landing there. But you have to build, and so that means that sometimes in a
Yes.
season, people are going to be like, "I'm not really feeling this. What's going on here? Why are we spending so much time here?" But then you'll later see, "Oh, that's why we're here." And so now getting to this season, I just think again with all of these characters and with what they have been showing to me, because it's been that this show has constantly expounded upon the world. One of the reasons why I wasn't as big on Succession, and that's not to say that I'm little on it or small, it's still one of the great television shows to ever exist. But that
Correct.
being said, its flaws to me as compared to something like Industry was that it was so insular that it started to, I think, move away from what I think that show should have been doing. You're making an eat the rich show. You want to make sure that you're not forgetting the roots of that these people are ultimately the most evil people you can possibly see. And I'm not saying that they lost that completely, but I am saying that they started to lose the plot towards the end of the seasons, where I believe that they were getting so close to these characters, like a person, basically like a person going undercover, and you start to forget what you're there to do. You're there to indict these people and to get them off the streets, and you
Mhm.
start going, "Oh my gosh, these people are really fucking cool," and I kind of like being around them, and that magnetism starts drawing you in, and you start
Always gets
forgetting
you.
that these are still awful people. But Industry never lets you forget when what's her name tells him, "This is always how I'm going to remember you." It's not just her
Oh,
personal feeling about the power dynamic and everything stuff that exists, and how she sees him as a powerful person. That's part of the draw. It's also the fact that it is still pointing out overall that we all, also to the audience, we all know what Eric has done. And that though this is a beautiful moment in some ways for them personally,
yep.
for him taking and saying, "I don't want any hurt to fall on you," it is also an act of cowardice, period. He knows what he's done. He doesn't really want to face that. He does the best he can by saying, "Oh, I'm worse than that," but he's not going to say exactly what it is. He's not going to tell Harper exactly what it is because
Still
he is
cowardice.
afraid.
Yep.
It is cowardice and everything stuff. And so this again, this shows us time and time again, never for a moment let you get so stuck in their own personal moments, or their moments of being human, or their moments of remembering that they actually have hearts and souls. They never let you forget, but look what their
I got
actions are doing. Forget what they're saying. Pay attention to what their actions are doing. And so whether it's Harper, whether it's Eric, whether it's Yasmin, they all have their own
Henry,
personal
Whitney.
reasons. And that's Yes, and it's that world again. You were talking about it with the sex power dynamics. I love that, and I think that that is again that is not necessarily nature. That's not our the way we are. That's the way it is constructed within this world. That everything,
This
love,
industry.
sex, friendships, it becomes a part of the industry. It serves the industry. So you don't you now you're not having sex for the beauty of connection or the beauty of
Yes.
pleasure. No, you're having it for, as you said, a power dynamic. Love is Yasmin's not falling in love for love. She's falling in love she's getting into this person for the connection. Now, you can still be in love
Proximity.
with the person because you're around them, proximity, exactly, all these things. But nonetheless, the main reasons why you're there is because of what it can do for you. And that's what everyone is doing. There's a friendship between Yasmin and her, but there is also that is never going to overpower what the fuck do I need to do to move up? And I will cut you. I will do anything I need to do in order to get to where I need to be. And if that means sacrificing you, I'll do my best to try to like soften the blow, but I'm not going to not let the blow land. And so
Period. I
this is
think
just a wonderful show in that room.
I think that, Tej, you were saying earlier about the criticisms. I shared some tweets because I want to talk about it. Y'all share whatever tweets y'all have seen about industry in the chat. I mean, Mickey, I hope you're hearing us. I know you will. Mickey down, you're cooking. You and your co-host are cooking in this show. It's crazy. Happy What We Watch Wednesday. We've talked extensively about this. Tej, I don't know, and I'll have What We Watch do the clip. Tej, did I not say how quickly this partnership was going to dissolve? Did I not tell y'all that? Did I not say that this is going to crash and burn this season quickly?
Which partnership?
Eric and Harper.
Yeah,
I
you
said
did.
that. I said this is going to be a fucking disaster. This is going to dissolve so fast. I didn't see it coming. Industry will always show us how they can, like David said, subvert your expectations and your anticipations, but still like really deliver. Did I think Eric was gonna get cooked this way. But you know what? I also would like to toot my own horn again because I told y'all that motherfucker was weird and y'all fought me on it. I told y'all that motherfucker wasn't shit. Didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all. And look at him. Look at him. I kept trying to tell y'all. Y'all kept trying to defend him because that's how industry does. I told y'all. I told y'all about Eric. So I think I've got my I told y'all moments. I told y'all that shit Stern Tower was going to be cooked. Harper was shocked. I love that. I think we're undermining how much we've seen Harper cry this season. We haven't seen her cry this much since the first season. And I don't want to undermine that. Harper be crying right now, y'all. We're getting the softer side. But let's walk through this episode because we can't. I have to go almost scene for scene. We open with Henry and we open with Harper and Yasmin, and then we immediately go into this really dark, beautifully backed sound with this amazing soundtrack in the back that starts to show you exactly it's so fucking good. And we have Dear Henry. And the whole time, I mean, it's just so fucking fire the way that they did this last episode. We have Whitney, and I think I'm going to speak for myself. At the very beginning of this Dear Henry kind of inner monologue, inner dialogue, narration kind of thing, I'm not thinking the worst of Whitney. And I only say that because I don't think good of anybody on the show except Harper now. I don't think good of anybody on this show, but I was not putting Whitney as vicious and evil and insidious as I have him now. Like he's way past everyone for
Even
me,
after
right?
he killed a journalist, like that wasn't enough for you.
Well, people be dying every day, B. All right. Hey, you got to do what you got to do at times. I did not put him above because a lot of people have. Rishi done some crazy shit. Okay, I didn't put him above nobody because y'all got some empathy for Rishi, and Rishi wild. Rishi got to go. But Whitney, I had just put Whitney as okay. Yeah, he fucked up just like everybody else. But I had to put him on another level because as soon as we started talking to Ferdinand, as soon as I saw how calm this man was, Whitney, why are you so calm? So you don't even so it might not even just be about power to you. You think you have the money and the power. You don't have neither of those things, mind you. But the fact that you believe that you do, every time someone was alarmist around Whitney, his company, his idea, right? We started the season, it was his idea to fuck over his bestie and replace him with Henry Muck and then try to have sex with Henry Muck and walk in on his room. Whitney is not even threatened by his position or lack thereof. He don't care. He's like, guys, everything's gonna be fine. When I decide, I don't know, y'all tell me, Teach, you tell me when you knew Whitney was trash, like worse than everybody else on the show. I did not put him worse than everybody else on the show. Uh
When he killed a journalist, that's when I was like, "Oh,
nah,
I'm
nah,
pretty sure
you
he
you
set up
you
that guy to be killed." That
you
then
cap,
we're
you
dealing
cap.
with a different level of guy.
That's cap. That's cap. People be dying all the time in this show. Hold on a second though. When I knew, let me tell you when I knew for a fact. It was the number one where he answered that phone on that plane. He didn't even react when Tony, I think it's Tony Day. You said the white guy in Africa. I think his name is Tony Day. When Tony Day wasn't there in Ghana, he was like, "Oh, okay, let me get back on the PJ and I'm gonna just go back to London, I guess." I said, "Why is he so calm on this plane?" And then his Ferdinand came up and he was like, "Chill." And then Haley came alarmist and he was like, "I'm not giving you a cent." I said, "Nah, man, this man don't care what happened to nobody." Teach, we've got to talk about this is Whitney's episode. We've got to talk about Whitney writing this letter. We got to talk about what we talked about too. Like in my head, I'm not letting no Whitney fuck me over. God don't ever put me in that position, please. But nah, Whitney, boy, I'm going at you head to head, my boy. Whitney, you might be crazy, but people gonna believe me when I tell the truth. Go ahead, Teach. And then David.
Yes, I knew that Whitney was a different level of person, one darker criminal link. But I think my favorite part about this episode is because Whitney is so bad, and now we've seen kind of the full scale of what he's got going on. I mean, he's literally a Russian asset, for God's sake. Now we are doing what industry has been doing the whole time. We put Harper and Yaz across from each other, and then we put them sitting next to each other. And we've been able to keep doing that and to keep doing that. And now Yaz has the assistant.
Mhm.
And then now we know that Yaz and Harper are going to end up on the same side again with Muck, and that's just going to be great TV. And it's going to be like, holy shit! Now going into season 5, now they're on the same side, or at least going into the last couple episodes of this season, they're on the same side, and that's what we love. They've been doing this the whole time. It's the same trick: Yaz versus Harper, and then Yaz and Harper versus whatever the outside forces are, and it doesn't get old because they keep it fresh. They keep you. They subvert your expectations, but we end up in the same place, and I just love that. I just absolutely love that. But yeah, this Whitney guy, if we can even call him that, because I think that him
His
playing the
name is
Whitney
like
Houston
Thomas,
song,
right?
him playing the Whitney Houston song seems to me that he chose that name because he likes that song, but he doesn't deserve to listen to Whitney Houston, who's my birthday twin. This guy is a piece of shit. He's killing people. But I do, one, love the portrayal from the actor, and also two, the way that he's always seemingly so calm in this episode, especially, is insane.
It's
It sends a chill
terrifying.
down my spine that things are seemingly falling all over, all around him. His empire is crumbling, and he's so fucking calm. He hasn't raised his voice. That is insane. That is such a great
It's
way to portray that character, and I'm just obsessed with it.
it's juxtaposed. Ding ding ding, another little funny word we use unironically. With Henry. When Henry's world was crumbling, my guy lost it. Did he not? My guy lost his mind. My guy was yelling and screaming at everybody. Whitney Thomas, whatever his name is, I want to dance with somebody. Singing that to somebody in the middle of you getting accused of killing everyone is crazy. He's a terrifying man. But I'll take you one on one. I'll beat your motherfucking ass when you got me fucked up, Thomas, whatever your name is. The thing about it for me though is, and I see you, David. You got next. Thing about it for me though is, Tej. I think hold on now, because, and maybe I'm just bit by the industry bug in the way that they want me to be, but let's not give Whitney too much. Ferdinand is right there too. And Whitney be trying to hold back the dogs at times. I feel like throughout their tenure together, not saying one is better than the other, but I know only one person has tried to have, what did he say? Some red lines. There's not many of us with red lines. He literally said, all right, Whitney, you got some red lines. That's good. It don't matter for this. Don't nobody give a fuck about your little red lines right now. But I'm glad you have some red lines, Whitney. Good for you. Good for you. I'm still gonna kill Johnny. Okay, yeah. You have a good time. But that was cute. That was cute that you kind of was like, maybe we don't escalate and kill this guy. Good for you, Whitney. David, go ahead. Ferdinand, y'all gotta be careful, Ferdinand.
Absolutely. To make my statement about connect to what I feel about Whitney, when I discovered, I want to go back to the OG to me, Eat the Rich movie, Wall Street, and there the character of Gordon Gekko is, I think one of the things that's forgotten is that he is new money at that point in time, and the people with whom he hates are all old money. And it was the first movie that I feel as though started to make that connection that there's a mentality that is created. Bud Fox himself also was coming from middle class upbringing. And these strivers that want so badly to be within this world, but also what their kind of checkmate, what their kind of underlying power is that if they are a certain type of person, they will understand what actually underlines all of these codes and all of these things because they can see it from a perspective that those who are rich, who are already within it, who have lived their whole lives within it, don't. Those people have begun to believe in the falsifications that they created. But the outsider, can see that these are just bullshits. And when you understand that, then that actually gives you more power in a certain way than they have because you can see the things that they don't, and you understand the truths that uphold what they're doing. Henry
Mhm.
Muck is a person that still believes in this. The first time I started anew was when he basically, I had at least the first inclinations were when he approached Henry and the things that he was saying to him. I knew this was for a reason. I could tell that he was a person that deeply understands what makes these people work and what they need. And that's what he's been doing this whole time, is to his, whether his friend, other people around him, he's been understanding what the rich are actually doing, what they actually need, and he's been getting to something deeper and more profound, using it in an evil way to say, that's how I'll undermine all of you. And so then when the whole, basically three card money game was exposed, that he really has a bunch of nothing under it. I think he knows this. The reason why he's calm is because he knows that at the end of the day, the levels of connection to power, the things that he has gained, basically as sort of what's his name, J. Edgar Hoover, having files on everyone, so that ultimately he is not. You could bring the world down on his shoulders, and he
Exactly.
still know he was going to be sitting in that exact same fucking seat, because so many people are involved with what I'm doing. None of them, and you're already beginning to me at the by the middle of that show episode, you were
Mhm.
seeing that one of the reasons that Whitney is afraid is because there's too many people moving already to stop what what's her name, Harper, and them are
Or
trying to do.
child, yeah, which is now
Exactly, and
Harper.
they're just exactly, and so to me, that is Whitney. Yes, I do feel as though he's an incredibly evil character, because again, this is on brand with what the rest of the show is showing, is again that a lot of the people that come in, whether they are born into this industry or whether they come into it, this show is mostly about the strivers. It is not like Succession about the already rich. It is about those of us who claw,
Yes,
fight, scratch,
the
bite,
Harpers of the
do whatever
world.
the fuck we can do. Exactly. The Harpers, the Eric Towles, the Whitneys now. And so these are all people, because Whitney said something when he was talking that said that he also comes from a meager background.
Yeah,
And
what did
actually,
Henry
it was
say?
Henry
What did
said
Henry
something to him.
say? I've had some middle
Yeah.
class friends before. Hmm.
Yep, exactly. So this is who this show is about. This is who this show
Good
is for,
call.
in a certain extent. And so yeah, I love that, and I love this Whitney art being exposed.
I, I gotta keep talking about Whitney, because right, like talking about his calm, like there's a problem, right? Part of emotional intelligence and empathy is understanding that like every emotion is important. Every, being emotionally healthy is not like ranking one emotion as more or less valid or important than the other, right? Then you get called, that you're gaslighting or that you're whatever. And you're right. I think that they're making this emotionally intelligent and aware person, right? And I don't want to call him emotionally intelligent. I think he's socially intelligent, right? He's industry intelligent. He is so aware. He's terrifying because he's always 5 steps ahead. Oh, you found me out. Well, I have record of you doing these 17 bad things in your life within the last year or two. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I came at you. So yeah, no, yeah, I had cameras in there. Go ahead and try to prove anything. I don't care. I'm gonna write you a letter. Because yeah, oh, am I
I just
such a
want
big Go ahead. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
If
Sorry,
if
just wanted to say quickly that it reminds me of the Denzel Washington quote in Training Day, when they asked me, like, "Nigga, I've been playing this shit all week."
Yeah, literally. Whitney looking around like, oh, I'm the big bad guy, Henry. Oh, I'm the big bad guy. Well, you guys aren't perfect yourself. And it's just like, ooh, I want to beat Whitney up so bad. Whitney, the type to be like, who was it that was on TV the other day that was like, we all have done fucked up shit. And all of us were like, no, we have not done that type of shit. Do not group us together. Whitney's like, you're in bed with me. It's like, whoa, Whitney, chill out, chill out. First of all, you shouldn't have had them cameras there. Number two, how you 15 steps ahead planning this shit? He did it to his partner. Like, we shouldn't even be shocked. His bestie that he put out, he was like, yeah, counts of drinking and doing drugs and going to raves and just drinking on the job and coming into the office. He was doing that with Whitney. Whitney was right there with him. But Whitney was just taking little logs. Whitney, the dude from Recess, taking notes the whole time. The little guy right there making notes. Hate him. Hate a snitch ass bitch. Hate him. So now, okay, if y'all are gonna air me out, I'm gonna air y'all out. And then we'll just let the public decide. We'll just let the public decide who's worse. Because you know what's gonna happen? The minute you try to put me down, all they're gonna see is CEO next to your name of my company. So you're trying to take me and my company down, but you was the CEO. And then all I got to do is say two, three bad things about you. They don't have to be as bad as it. Those of us in this room, we've seen it. We see one person at a company go down, and another person got a couple of all of y'all ain't shit. All of y'all trash. I don't care what level. I don't give a fuck about the semantics of who did what worse. All of y'all need to be canceled. And Whitney knows that. Whitney understands that, right, David? Whitney knows. Oh no, baby, we're gonna catch Eric. I'm gonna leverage all of these women, right? PayPal for Bukaki. I'm gonna leverage Haley. I'm gonna leverage everybody. I have dirt on everyone. I can stay perfectly calm. You can do whatever to me. Cause we all going down, baby. So think about that when you try to expose me. We're all going down. That's fine. Cause all people are gonna see is that you were associated with me. Teach, go ahead. That's Whitney. That's why I don't fuck
I,
with Whitney.
I love that David made the Wall Street comp. Obviously, it's kind of impossible to watch this episode and not think of the talented Mr. Ripley, which Aaron pointed out to me. I did not know this, that the actor that plays Whitney, his dad is the director of the talented Mr. Ripley. So that is in the text of the show.
Let's call him his
Um,
name. His name is Mr. Mingwell.
Yes, Mr. Meanwell.
It's like Maxwell
Well,
Minkwell or something. Minkwell is his last
which
name.
he's one, like I said before, he's doing a fucking phenomenal job, and
Yep.
industry really hasn't missed with the casting in 4 seasons, which is absolutely insane. But
We have
outside of
fucking
that,
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington's doing the best work we've ever seen. Like the casting department for industry is literally better than everybody's casting in the whole entire universe in terms of TV. But anyway, what I love about about the Whitney character is that we're still exploring the same themes, and the theme is class, and the theme is how Whitney sees the world as a person who's not born with money. The way he views Henry, that's real. He's not putting on an act. He actually
Yes.
does. There is that talented Mr. Ripley part of it where he's saying this guy's got everything. This guy's got the charisma. This guy's got the background. He's got the name. Man, if I can only be that guy. And so his feelings toward Henry are genuine. And I love that we painted Whitney as the big bad this entire time. Like you said, going back to what he does to his co-founder of the company. Meanwhile, we've got a guy, the devil on his shoulder has been sitting there the whole time. And he might actually be the big bad because Whitney says, no, we don't have to kill that. We don't have to kill Tony, whatever his face is. We don't have to kill him. And Ferdinand basically says, well, I mean, yes, we do. Like he's got to go.
He's
And,
got to
and,
go.
and and we see that one Whitney has somebody who's a boss who is Ferdinand, but also like the Russian government is really controlling what Ferdinand and Henry are doing and Whitney are doing. So Whitney is still, even though it looks like he's this big guy in this big company, he's still an asset that was placed there. And so he still looks at somebody like Henry and says, you have everything. You don't have to have a boss if you ever don't want one. You live in a fucking castle. You could fail and you're just gonna bounce back because of who you are. You're Teflon out here, and Whitney can never be that, and he's obsessed with that. And that obviously brings back to the time of Mr. Ripley. Great film. Did not realize that this guy's dad actually directed that movie, but
Makes
putting
sense.
like this is the level at which this show is operating. Anybody could have watched the talented Mr. Ripley and say, I love this. I want to put this into my TV show. They're like, no, we're actually going to cast the son of the guy. And also that guy,
He's fucking great.
this is not just a hire that we're going to make because we love this movie so much. This guy actually is the perfect person to play this character. And I'm
Fucking
sure that
great.
he has seen this movie 100 times and understands what the movie's trying to accomplish. And he can give us those vibes for our season of TV. That's just in like that's working on 10 different levels. And I just absolutely love that casting. I love this character of Whitney. And originally I was scared of like, if he's just gonna be like the worst possible person, he's killing people, he's getting all this stuff. I don't know if I love that. I don't know if that fits into the show of industry, but it fits perfectly. And we could have never imagined that we'd be in season 4 and have a villain like Whitney, but it makes perfect sense now that we're here, that we've evolved the show and we've taken the journey to get to this point where we can put the quote unquote bad people that we've been living with every episode. Yes, Harper, Eric, and let's put them against this guy who is on a whole different level and has a literal government who's moving him into position to do things. That's just it is mind blowing how the scope of this show has grown, but the heart of
Right?
this show and the mission statement of this show has never changed from episode 1.
Never. And I think I want to bridge kind of what you're saying with what David is saying. And first of all, say that we were ready to talk about Rishi, Sweet Pea, Tony Day. And we got Kit Harrington and I think it's Mingwell. Y'all, someone make sure I'm saying the name right.
It
It's
is me.
Minkwell, Max Minkwell. I mean, it's 70, 80% of this show is just them being gay, just being some gay guys, you know. Henry kind of not being gay, being bi-curious, right? And I think it's very intentional. I'm not even being funny. Like, this is so well written, and it's so serious because there's a reason why Henry answers the phone with the two big titty, perky titty white women to his wife. There's a reason why that happens after this kind of glory hole, which is by definition a curiosity, right? Like, I'm not saying I want to be with this man. I've been telling my wife, I don't know why she keep thinking I'm trying to have sex with this man. I just don't mind that he wants to feed my ego. And I think that's another kind of statement that I can just blanket across this entire show that Whitney is kind of showing you. All you need to do, if we're leveraging everything we can to have power, because 101 level, you think this industry is about money, finance. That's 101. 201, you know this is about power. 301, how do we get that power? All you got to do is stroke some egos. That's all Whitney has been doing for the last 3.5 episodes. Whitney ain't done a motherfucking thing. Whitney is a liar. Whitney ain't got no money. Whitney ain't got no assets. Whitney ain't got no capital. Whitney ain't got nobody. But all he does is play to people's validation and ego. That's all you got to do. Oh my gosh. You are everything. No one can stop you. No
And
one is above you.
Henry and Yas ate that right up because
They, oh,
they are the perfect people to be in a position where somebody can
all you got to
stroke their
do,
ego
guys,
and say, "You are so important. Let me give you this big
take some
title," and they
notes.
are like, "Yes, please."
Yes. Finally, someone sees us. We saw it in the last episode where you have a woman that isn't even with a gay man. He's just bi-curious. He was homo in school. Everybody know you can be homo in school. He's bi-curious. He got his wife stressed. And all that man did was say, "You're doing great. You're a great guy. You go up there and you talk to those people on that stage. All you got to do is find a motherfucker at their lowest and be like, you're great. You go get him. You know what? No one could ever be you. The motherfucker gonna remember you forever." And Whitney has clearly understood that for at least the half the time I've been alive. Okay? The rest of us are just now figuring this out. Whitney's like, have y'all ever spoken to any of these rich motherfuckers? Just tell them they're the best motherfuckers in the world. Tell them they got all the authority in the world. That's what you gotta do. Tell her, give Yasmin the job. Who gives a fuck? I'm gonna fire her next week. Give her the job. Oh my God, you're brilliant. Yeah. Fuck that last guy I hired. Come on now. Be head of comms. Yeah. What did he do? What did he do with the other dude? The Tony Day. He went and sat down on that thing. None of y'all knew what that man was about to say. This writing is crazy. None of y'all knew what that man was going to say. He just got in there and said, "You're too good for this. Remember when you was in these 5-star hotels? Remember that? Remember when you was drinking on a yacht? Remember that? You want to go and be in a motel now? Hey man, I just think you're better than that. I just think me and you could go far. Cause I've already shown you what we could do. Remember when you were sleeping under a bridge? Do you remember that with the rats? And I saved you, but you look good here now, my boy. I know you're down right now, but you're not gonna be down forever, but you good. All right, you have a good time. You finish your coffee. You have a good time. Yeah, no, they're right there. All right, I'm gonna go. You have a good day. All right. That's all Whitney do. That's all Whitney do. Think of your worst day. Think of your worst day in your life right now. Sorry. But that's fine. Whitney gonna come in and lift you up. Whitney's gonna come and say, you know what? I got a way for us to make money and be on yachts and jets. And all I gotta do is lie. Aaron, go ahead. Welcome to the stage. Happy What We Watch Wednesday. We're
I
talking about the insidiousness of Whitney, but go ahead. Or whatever his name is. He don't even got his real name.
His name is Max Minghella. His father is Anthony Minghella, the director
Ming
of
Hella. No, I'm talking about
Minghella.
in the show.
No,
In the
that's why I
show,
was
what's
what
his
is
just
real
his
saying
name
my.
in the
passport
show?
name?
We don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I was
It
just
said on
trying
the
to tell
passport.
you his name because y'all were saying you were saying what his name was. It was
Yes,
Max
thank you. Ming
Minghella.
Hella.
Anthony
Thank you.
Minghella. He directed the English Patient, Talented Mr.
Ooh,
Ripley, Cold Mountain,
come on, nepotism.
Oscar winner director. Rest in peace, his father. Um, Also, that was all I was going to say. But also, I think Whitney is Harper times 10.
Mm.
He is. They both lied about who they are to get to where they are. They're both very intelligent and they use sex as a weapon.
They did because he also fucked Harper already.
Right.
Forgot to talk about that.
They are that's
Well,
why
she
I
fucked.
think their conversation,
Well,
that phone
TJ,
conversation was actually the sweet spot of the whole episode because they
I
are
think so too.
brothers it was like like the eye of the storm, like just those two people, because they are very much mirroring
Like
each other.
reflections
But
of each other.
he's clearly 10 times worse, but they mirror each other very much.
He's older and he's a white man with privilege.
Right.
Henry's never looking at Harper like, oh yeah, I could. But Eric, a man of color, right, is like, okay, I could partner with her and put in my money and stuff like that. But you kind of, Whitney, and also I think, and I would love to see this in like maybe the next season. I don't think industry is going to take us this far, but y'all quote me. This is all recorded. If I'm right, that's good. I think when we get deeper into Whitney's backstory, I think we're going to find that he's used as an asset and a weapon because he is this welcoming, non-threatening looking man, because he will go to a gay bar with you and kind of intimately touch you, and you're gonna kind of like be like, oh well, it's okay that he's touching me, right? Like, how do we go from a dinner with an auditor to a rave to sitting on the side of a canal talking about our past? That is an extremely romantic, like intimate night. That is extremely romantic. And I think only a motherfucker like Whitney and maybe Aaron, to your point, like Harper, can pull that off. Because
Are
how
you
did we?
saying that your idea of romance involves glory holes?
I'm saying that my idea of romance requires significant amount of time spent together, waking up in the sunlight. Are you saying that there's something wrong with someone enjoying what they can? Are you saying something's wrong with being gay?
Well,
There's
I
nothing
mean,
wrong with
I
being
would
gay.
not. Well, I don't know what was
There's
on the other
nothing
side of the
wrong with
glory
people
hole, but I
enjoying
wouldn't. I
the
wouldn't be there to
kinks that
find
they
out.
have. There's nothing wrong. Are you kink shaming people? That's okay. Everyone has their own ways to engage in, pleasure. So everyone has different things that they like. Everyone's consensual, everyone's involved. So I think that that just escalated too quickly for me, to the point where I don't even know if Whitney, and please someone find out his name, like, because they showed the passport. I was just too
Yeah,
blindsided
but
by
we don't
everything
even know if the passport is his real name either. We have no idea.
in this season, in this episode. By the way, we got shown like 2 3 passports. That I'm not sleep on that, because TJ, you still question it. I'm like, industry wouldn't do that many kind of twists. The passport of the girl that Eric was doing the stuff with, oh lord, uh that was sent to him too, to show the age, born in 2011. Yikes.
Could have
So
been fake. Maybe she
could have
was of
been
age, or
fake.
maybe she wasn't.
What did you say? What was your point in that, right? Because I was like, you crazy as hell. Of course, that's the motherfucking point. But you're like, well, Monique, he made a fake passport for himself. So is that his? We don't know. We've got too many smoke and mirrors up. We don't even know. David, go ahead. I see your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to get back to something you said earlier about kind of like, I guess you could say, Whitney's tactic or whatever, how he approached the I forget the guy's name, Day or something like that. Tony, yeah,
Tony Day.
in that
Yeah. That's
restaurant.
such a cool name. Why can't I
And
remember his name? Go ahead.
I forgot the other situation where he also used that tactic. But the point is that I was definitely reminded. There's a movie. I don't know how many people have seen it, but it's called Body of Lies. Leonardo DiCaprio, Russell Crowe. Really, I believe it's a Ridley Scott film, and it's what's great about that movie has a lot of great things about it. But there's a part where Mark Strong's character, who kind of weirdly is playing Middle Eastern,
Mm.
comes up to a character in the movie who he's been grabbed, he's been held hostage, and it's Mark Strong's men who have him. And the thought, I think, of not only the people within the movie, but us as an audience, is that okay? This is about to be you know a torture scene. But he comes up and his men are saying that. And he's like, no, he said, I found that in these situations, it's actually better to give the person something that they want than to threaten to take away things from them or to hurt them.
Yep.
And I feel like that is such a truism. And I think in this case that it's a great showing of what kind of person Whitney is, as far as like how elevated he is in his understanding of people. And again, going back to Wall Street, and how what's his name was constantly Gecko's character, which was very in a vogue at the time. It was a new thing that people were starting to read, Sun Tzu's The Art of War.
Right.
And so then he's using all of these tactics about how do you approach your enemies and the myriad of ways that you have to approach your enemies. And that sometimes, as he has
Yes.
to do when he goes into a clash with the British old money, and the person eventually gets to a level where he knows, okay, it's my time to retreat. It was like, it's not even worth it. He was like, I'll go ahead and give it back to you for this much money. But he has made money enough, and it's kind of understanding when to fold them, when to hold them. And I think that is also something Whitney is understanding, and he sees when he has that conversation with Henry about suicide. It's I'm not going to create outs for myself in that way, because I'm always aware of the possibilities for change and for turn with the even when you're in a downside or when something seems to be coming down. And I think that's the difference between, as you already spoke about, him and Henry. But the point is just to say that yes, I do. That's just another way of Whitney showing where he is. I think he's at more advanced than all the other characters. I think what's her name definitely has the Harper has the talent to eventually do that type of
Eventually do
thing.
that. I like that.
And eventually, exactly. But I think right now she's still maturing into how she emotionally kind of jumps off the rail sometimes and does things spur of the moment instead of like thinking a little bit ahead whenever, especially when she's been hurt. And I think you have to, as Whitney's doing in that world, you have to sort of build up a certain amount of armor to the things that people are going to do or say about you, or the times when somebody has the ability to hurt you financially or whatever. And he's built up that wall to where almost, at least for the time being, it's very hard to find where his weak spot. He has totally hidden his weak spot while exposing everyone else's.
It's really brilliant. I mean, the more we're talking about this, guys, I feel like Whitney might be one of my favorite characters. I'm gonna say in the season right now. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. Aaron, go ahead.
His weak spot is Henry.
Oh, period. And I was just about to say that, Tej, I love that you said that because I was about to say that too, and kind of Aaron just confirmed it. Tej, earlier you said, I think what you were looking for, and I like to use this word sincere. I think the way that Whitney feels about Henry is sincere, right? Like I think he really do care about that man in that way. I think he does see the man that way. But I keep using the term insidious because Whitney's playbook, right? You're just, if you ever want to be a terrible person and get what you want to get people on your side and get proximity for people that can't see through this kind of bullshit because they're so deep in their own shit, right? Whitney's playbook is super simple. Number one, don't let anybody see you like sweat too much. Be extremely optimistic and delusional. Number two, always stay 5 steps ahead. Don't just say that, do it. Put some cameras there, put some people in place. And how do I get to be 5 steps ahead? I lock arms, I get in bed, literally and figuratively, with the right people and give them what they want. I don't have no money, I don't have no capital, but I know how to give people what they want. And guess what? Everybody I'm dealing with already has money and capital. They don't need that shit from me. They don't need no money. They don't need me to have money or power or access. They just need me to validate them. And whatever form that is. For Henry, it's the ego validation, the perspectives of that. That's why he's bringing him flowers. No one's bringing Henry flowers. No one thinks Henry even gives a fuck about flowers. But Whitney's gonna write a letter and bring him some flowers. Fucked with your head. No, Whitney is just doing the playbook of feed people's ego, find their weakness, make them feel good about themselves. That's it. They'll give you whatever. I don't even have money, and everyone around me is talking about me like I have money. That's what he literally said that in this episode. He was like, "We don't even. It doesn't matter that people think that we did that. They also think that we did the other things. They also think that we have this in Accra, Ghana. They also think a lot of other things. It doesn't matter. The narrative will change. I can't even tell you how many times they use the word narrative in this episode. They're like, narrative. Whitney's like, it's fine. Everybody will be fine. Aaron, go ahead. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, one of his layers of manipulation though was like building that wedge between Henry and Yasmin and also getting him back on alcohol and drugs. Like he's making sure he's placing himself in between the one person that kind of was Henry's reality and foundation, and he's like taking that away from Yaz and also making him dependent again. So
Ooh.
he put in a lot. He put a lot of reels in the ocean, and he's just gonna hook that fish every way he can.
And he's real smooth. That he was able to do that. Correct. But really
Very
good call out.
easily.
He
Very
was able
easily.
to do that very easy because he was steps ahead. Y'all, we're just now being introduced to Whitney. Whitney had his eye on Henry season 3. Whitney been knew about Henry. Everybody knows about Henry. Just pick a favorite famous person right now and start to analyze them. That's what Henry did. Or that's what Whitney did to Henry. Oh, okay. Now I met your wife. Oh, your wife seems insecure about your sexuality. Not just your sexuality, but you going out. I bet I could. I bet I could get you to a rave. Just get you drugged up.
And
Yeah.
it also goes back from the beginning of the season, because remember, the beginning of the season we're seeing the interplay between, first of all, Yaz is the one who Whitney got to bring Henry into the company, and then once they got into the company, Yaz is now fighting for position in the company. She's not being respected or heard in these rooms, and so Whitney's making sure, I'm going to elevate Yaz's position in the company.
But you-
And not that their marriage is the hardest thing to see, that it's on the rocks, but just let's also remember that we learned this season that there is an infidelity clause in their marital contract, and now we know that Henry has been that Whitney has evidence, probably has evidence of his infidelity because of the thing at the glory hole thing. That's infidelity. He probably doesn't know about the prostitutes or the ladies he had in the room with him,
He probably
but he
do. He definitely had a camera in there. I don't
but he
know.
might, he
Whitney got
really
cameras
might.
everywhere. There ain't gonna be one scene in the industry where I don't think Whitney got a camera. I'm done with Whitney. Whitney, why you got cameras everywhere? You're
He's been
crazy.
playing the long game with their
Yep.
marriage the entire time. And obviously, this is easy for him to do because their marriage is such a mess. And so, the
Exactly.
state of what their marriage is going to be is very relevant to the future of our story and where we're
And who
going,
tr-
because who knows what it's like.
and who tried to warn them? Harper.
Harper.
Harper tried to warn them. Harper didn't even do too much. She just asked one question. She said, "Hey, don't let me just plant a seed. Do y'all think maybe y'all trusted this man too fast?"
Harper really didn't like that funeral shit that he said. That I feel like she brought
Harper
that
not
up again. She
stupid.
really didn't like that.
Yasmin hasn't even fucked this man. Her man hasn't even fucked this man. Harper has. Harper said, I got it. I see this man. He's a liar. He's actually worse than your husband. And your husband is ain't shit, my girl. But let me tell you, y'all got a really, really parasitic person laying in bed with y'all. Literally here soon, if you let it happen that far. David, go ahead. There is a
Yeah, first
parasite
of all,
in your host.
first of all, as far as Harper and Whitney, as we've already said, game recognized game. So I think that she would be a tougher sell for Whitney, because I think there is a sort of a seed, and I know who you are and you know who I am.
But
But also,
David, to
mm,
your point, that's not accidental, right? Why are they aligned? They got the same, they came from the same, they're thrivers, they're strivers. I see you because shit, we in the same boat, man. I know we came from the same, we're not from the same cut of the cloth, which is why this is a white man and a black one. But you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. I feel like that's why, right? I see
it is
you. I
absolutely why.
tried, but like because I was there. Like I know we got it out the mud. These motherfuckers was born into royalty. Go ahead.
Can, oh,
And that's exactly why that's a great segue into my basically the point I was going to. Others have forgotten, which is that ultimately all of this is, again, as Matthew McConaughey famously said in Wolf of Wall Street, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's fairy dust. This money doesn't mean anything. It's actually non-existent. It doesn't actually exist. And when we start, just because they have made it the way in which they are, it doesn't mean you have to fall for it. And I think, again, you were talking about what Whitney's talents are. And I think all of those come back to the fact that ultimately he knows that it is people and relationships that actually hold all
Have
of this
value.
up. It
Yep.
is not the money in and of itself. It is not finances and all this language
And
that you have
shorts
to
and
learn and
bears
study.
and yeah.
Exactly. Yes, it is simply, do you know how to work this person? Do you know how to deal with this person? Can you accept a certain amount of evil in your life? All of these things are the things that actually uphold this. And when you understand that, then that's how you fly and that's how you do well in this world. But when you are only just concerned with how do I make money, and you believe all these ideas of hard work, again, going back to Wall Street and that conversation he had in the limo with him, where he's like, what I'm saying, you think hard work so all this? What did your dad do all his life? What that doesn't mean anything. And so at the end of the
Exactly.
day, I just love that. That's another outstanding aspect of the show, that in every single, and it's not just Whitney, it really is in all of these relationships, you are constantly seeing that how people get things done is not really by having to have. Whitney didn't need to have assets to get into this. He needed to understand how these people work and how they move. And once he could build relationships off of that one by another, the money, they'll make it up for you.
Ooh,
Y'all are
David,
cooking in this
yes.
room, boy.
Boy,
Y'all are
we
cooking.
cooking, boy. I know it. David, I hung on two words you said. Do well. That's how you do well in this. And it's so interesting that you said that because it's very like meta, right? Because how do you do well in this poisonous vat, right? Like but you do well. And how do you do well? You push people down further into the poison, right? You push people down further into the toxic waste. And you just sit at the top of the toxic waste. You still in it though. How do you do well? Right? Oh, doing well, people think doing well means making a lot of money. No, nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Industry, finance, nobody cares. We got money, baby. That's never a thing. And if I don't, you'll make it up for me. You will believe I have money, which will mean I have money. It's all made up. It's all bullshit. Ain't no, ain't
That
no,
Theranos doc,
ain't no
just
wealthy
quickly saying
motherfuckers. What'd you say?
I was just quickly saying that Theranos doc was one of the great reveals that I had. Is like, oh yeah, wow, you can just everything that everybody talked about her about was like what she did and how what she said. The fire one too. It was all these people like selling people on something that had not happened, that did not
Yep.
exist, but it's their personality in a room, just boom, boom, throwing all these. What's the Prince of Egypt with the two guys like that were working for the Pharaoh, and they're doing this whole light show, but Moses' snakes are eating them up, and no one cared about the reality because the light show was great. That's this.
The beautiful black woman that they went to visit, Sweet Pea and Quabana. That y'all, she got one line in that, and I would have taken that scene too. She said, "So y'all saw a picture of a big ass $50 million check, and y'all just believed it. Y'all, and mind you, y'all are in this industry, so you know all this shit is made up, and y'all still believe that shit." So I just want to be clear. Y'all flew to Ghana because y'all saw. So I can write whatever number I want on there. Exactly. You made it up. You think I have money now. You using my app. You investing in stuff like that. You flew all the way across to Ghana because you think that I have money because you saw your evidence. Your evidence of me having money is a $50 million big ass check, size of the wall in the room, and we wrote 50 million. And you said, "Dang, how much? How did I get that much money?" Imagine people that don't have any idea how the industry works. They definitely believe it. Teach, go ahead.
You know the Leo pointing meme? We got the
Yep.
mission statement of this show repeated. There was a line where someone said something about a little bit of character fraud. And I think the mission statement of this show is that all the people are committing character fraud. It's not just the Harpers, the Erics, the Whitneys who don't come from means. It is also the Henrys and the Yazes who come
And
from
the
means,
Haleys.
and the Haleys. All these people are literally doing character fraud in the entire financial industry, and not just people who work in finance. I mean, our entire global economy is built on appearances. It's built on what people will believe. This season is based on. There's a lot of Epstein stuff in it, obviously, just like last season. But it's based on this company, and the biggest fraud in Germany was a company called Wirecard, where they did something similar. They were in other small countries acquiring companies and using acquiring these bullshit nothing companies to basically balance their spreadsheets, which is exactly what happened in this
Mhm.
season. The guy who started that company lied about his qualifications, about where he went to college. Harper did that in season one. So
The
they've been
episode, yeah.
tracking this.
Yep.
They've been tracking this stuff from the beginning, of saying it's not just the people who are the Americans or the middle class or the lower class, even, who come into these spaces and start committing fraud so they can fit in. Everybody is wearing a skin that's not theirs, and that is the nature of this industry. And the thing is rotten. What did they say when they finally realized, when they went to Accra? The thing is rotten. There's nothing here. The
There's
thing is
nothing
empty.
here.
The thing is barren. And that is the mission statement that they had about the entire financial industry in which we live every day, and just
Yep.
assume people got money. Celebrities are out here wearing fake jewelry because you assume that they got a Rollie because they are a celebrity. You know who they are. So why do I have to spend my money to buy a real one when I can put a fake one on? Some people, when they buy their jewelry, they give you a fake version of it so you can wear it outside. So, or when you travel, like, it is all about appearances, and that show, more than anything that I've ever seen, this show points at that. When you're watching Succession, like, those people got it. Like, that is a rich family. None of those people will ever worry about money. But in this show,
Which is
everybody
why they
is.
can be emotional and dramatic and all that kind of stuff. Because I don't have any other worries.
It's just a brilliant. What they're doing is brilliant, and I know a lot more people are watching the show than started with the show, and we've all been watching the show from the beginning. But I really wish more people were watching this show
From
because
the
I think that
beginning.
we're seeing
Yeah.
something completely special and completely different. And the casting, the directing, the cinematography, the music in this episode is just mine. There were 4 times where Monique said, "Wow, this music in this episode!" Like, they're just operating on every level, and we are truly seeing special television. And I'm just so happy that this show still exists. And I just pray that whatever version of HBO exists, the next time Ministry's coming out does not meddle in it in any way, shape, or form. Let those people cook. They know what the fuck they're doing. Let them keep cooking.
My most densely populated rooms, and I'm not even going to say they're the most quality or anything like that, but my most densely populated rooms, Tej, and I'm just speaking to your point of wanting more people to watch this. It's just so fucking good. Like, even sitting here chatting with y'all, I'm like, damn. Yeah, Whitney is a character to study, low key. Like, get him in a college course. There were 4,900, 5,000 people in those Succession rooms. There was about probably like 8,000 people in the Insecure rooms that I had during the pandemic and into like 2022 when Twitter was paying me to be on here. And then a lot of people showed up for the Spider-Man rooms and a lot of the streaming service releases. Um, Industry HBO is that level of engagement. It just does deserve that, especially at a time like this where we're talking about integrity. We're talking about a lack of integrity, right? We're talking about why you look at a person hold up what is clearly a fake check with the words 50 million on it and you believe it. And therefore, what do? You invest your money and your time into it. And what do? They reinvest and move the money around and audit themselves and put it around the globe where the jurisdictions and the ability to go see. You got to get on a plane yourself. Do you have the money to go check on somebody's balance sheet right now in Ghana? TJ, do you have that money right now to go do that just for the fuck of it? You don't. So you're gonna believe I have $50 million and you're going to treat me like I have $50 million. And I think that the lack of integrity that this show reveals so beautifully, and again, Tej, like this is y'all can minimize films and TV shows all you want. This is real life. There are real people behind the show. They get it. They were in the industry. They said, "Oh damn, ain't nothing real out here." And I can tell you firsthand. Take the lesson from industry, guys. Nothing is real. I remember the other day I saw a headline that said y'all, we just put out that Kylie was a billionaire. No, we didn't say she was a billionaire. We just put out there that she was. And then it kind of helped her get to that point. And I was like, dang, she's just associated with the Kardashian family. That I just assumed that headline wasn't lying. Why are we so sure about the integrity of these outlets and these journals? And we know that integrity. We know the people that own these things are not there. This show is showing you that too. They just got rid of the dude that was trying to have some integrity in his article. They was like, nah, you're done. You're done out here. And I know that Whitney and Ferdinand had to do something with that too. Where is the integrity? There's no integrity. Of course I'm going to write $50 million on this check. And you're going to believe I have it. And then all of these investors and all of these people that actually do have capital are going, oh, hey, y'all, let's use Tender 2.0 to process our transactions. So now they went from zero to about a million in a night. That's why when they were all in the comms and Whitney in the PJ chilling, what did they say on the call? They're like, guys, we just lost like like 9 million in a night or whatever he said. That's not real. How do you lose $9 million in a night that you don't have? What are you talking about? You don't even
They
have $9
said
million.
billion.
He said billion? Whatever he said. It doesn't matter. The number is made up. Everything is made up. There is no money. No one's getting anything. The stock market, everything is just fake. And so I think it's really cool. If you didn't know this before, you should be paying attention and you should really be aware that it's all just learn how to lie a little bit. Just lie. Just write $50 million on the check. Just wear the fake stuff. TJ, the other thing you left out is that they rent it, right? Companies know that you don't want to outright own it, so you just rent it out. David, go ahead. I see your hand up, and then Aaron, go ahead. Oh, Aaron, okay, I see your hand up. Aaron, go ahead.
No, I was gonna. Well, the conversation moves so fast, but well, the way you legitimize your $50 million is by getting proximity to somebody who has power and money. So you get Henry, you oust your friend, and you get Henry in your company to legitimize your lies even further. But like Harper said, the emperor has no clothes. She even dropped Enron. Like she was giving us like
Oh my God.
prime examples of like the emperor has no clothes. But I raised my hand to say, like, when we were talking about the person that would be like when I was saying Whitney's, if there were somebody who was his downfall, Harper, and we talk about how impulsive she is and how emotional she can be. But my girl Harper, like when that phone call happened between her and Whitney, when Whitney called her, she didn't even flinch when she knew it was him. That's how much that they come from the same world. Like once she realized it was him on the phone, it didn't phase her. Like having a conversation with him, somebody that she knew was from her world, didn't regular conversation. I'm gonna tell you that my mom died. We're gonna chat because
We're gonna sing Whitney Houston.
right, like you didn't knock me off kilter with this, like at all. And I think that's why I love the two. I just want to see more of them because it was it was juicy. Like they played well with each other.
Right.
But yeah,
Versus seeing Henry and Whitney interact. There's a
right,
clear difference in that. There's a clear difference in Henry's response and aura and comfortability around Whitney at this moment in time. It's been, oh, I depend on you validation. I love, thank you so much. Oh, I'm a hug you before my wife type shit. And now he's like, no, I run this shit. And Whitney's like, oh, you're so cute. You think you run things. Okay. Well, we're in this together, bud. So if I go down, you go down. David, go ahead.
I just wanted to kind of jump onto a point that uh, I'm sorry, I am totally forgetting the co-host name.
Teach.
OMT.
Tease. Um, yeah, which is just the overall quality of this show, which is to me another booming aspect because unlike other television shows, that have been on, I don't know if any show that I've seen in at least let's say 5 to 10 years, outside of maybe Random Acts of Flyness, um, has really kind of pushed the boundaries of what to expect from images in your show. The way that industry starts, a lot of times, the way that it'll when it decides to put the title card across the screen.
Yes.
Obviously, the ending of this episode was an all-timer ending, and that to me matches some of my favorite movies, endings to movies. It just was a very poetic and while at the same time still sticking to its themes and what its underlying saying. Obviously, he had the glory hole scene. I mean, you could put that right up there with Steve McQueen's Shane in the ultimate sex scene, because they actually the characters are very similar actually. But with Michael Fassbender, where he's on this bender and he ends up going to this place, and he also is, for the most of the movie, he's being hetero. But again, as you were talking about, a lot of what undergirds our sexual proclivities have less to do with the actual act of sex and more to do with psychological understandings and underpinnings. So the
Yep.
point being that and all the ways that the show does it, that it it paints the entire scene in red, and all the things that you were talking about. Power, red is a color of power. It's using color theory. There's all these things that have to do
Oh
beyond just
yeah.
of great characterization and things of that. There are all these filmmaking and television, top tier television stuff that they are using and they are exploring and they are playing with that actually sometimes don't always make the audience comfortable. I think that you were speaking to how industry is not collecting up those viewers. And I think to some extent, it is just like in real life. The more difficult, the more complex, the more the less narratively I don't even say well constructed, 'cause it is narratively well constructed, but I mean like where it's almost very clean and very easy to grasp, whereas industry has all these turns and twists and kind of idiosyncrasies that I think will always keep it from ever being as huge as the rest of these shows, because I think even when other people watch it, I don't think you're going to get that same sort of use. I saw a recent response to people saying that it was better than, one person tweeted out that it was better than Succession, and the response to that, and less the response but what the answers were to that response and all the quotes were telling me a lot about people's television habits and what works and what doesn't. And so ultimately, at least what doesn't work in the sense of grabbing a massive audience. Transformers has made more money than Inception. That's not because Transformers is a better movie or it's better quality writing or any of that shit. It's because it's easier to grab a mass of people through something that isn't really challenging at all than it is with something that actually has some bit of, like, whether it's through plot, whether it's through image, any of those things. And I just think industry is the entire package. And regardless of whether it was the most watched, because The Wire was also a seriously underwatched television
For the
series
first
when it was
couple of
on.
seasons. TNG said
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And here we are now. And so again, I don't really even think it matters. It will eventually catch on. And even like I said, I'm just saying that The Wire, even by its end, it was not like it was like ranking in like the highest rated shows on television. It just never got that kind of got more than what it was getting in the beginning. But I think that popularity really takes a lot, and it takes time to grab that when you really are doing something that is challenging the
This level.
rules of what we expect from television.
I fully agree. And I think that's a beautiful way to close this out. A couple of things. Number one, happy what we watch Wednesday. The app is coming. This is such a beautiful time. Every Wednesday, when we get together and talk about our favorite shows, I somehow fall deeper in love with everything. That's exactly why I created this space for us. That's exactly why we're all here. David, to your point about, we just talk, you're just talking about the business side of it. It's like some of these shows are just writing $50 million on the check, and taking a picture, right? And that's not to say that that's not true, because that functions, that works. It is good. It works. It has power. It holds leverage. It creates value that you don't even actually have, in the sense of like this big old check. You didn't lie. You just took a picture and wrote 50 million on a check, right? But I think industry, I mean, down to the music, you have to go watch this episode again. I'm about to go sit down and watch this episode again. You have to watch this episode again. That when they do the music drops, it is so perfect. You know exactly when to trust someone, which is never, but like, when there's like someone is about to lie, someone is about to do something terrible, someone is about to be super manipulative in this specific way. The music drops in this episode, like, they get better. I don't know how they keep getting better. To your point about the color theory as well. Also the lighting in certain things. Like Whitney's always in like a dark, kind of bluish undertone lighting, and then you cut to Henry's and he's under red and yellow lights and it's flashing. Whitney always manages to be in the room to get you to trust him doing y'all both doing fucked up shit, but you never even realize that Whitney hasn't had a drink. Whitney hasn't done any drugs. Whitney's not sweating. Whitney just holding your hand through all of this. But since he knows this is what you want, I'll be for there for the ride. It's fine that I'm here with you. I want you to say something about us going out to this rave and all that kind of stuff. I'm just gonna talk about what you did too. And I was sober. So my memory is ironclad. And so I think it's just really beautiful. Shout out to what we watch. Shameless, shameless promotion. I mean, I just, again, it's not me. It's not what I watch. It's what we watch. And I thank y'all so much for being here. really fun double feature. I haven't ran this marathon in a while, so thanks for giving me this episode marathon. We did a whole 2 hours. Shout out to y'all. Industry HBO, Seven Kingdoms, Night of the Seven Kingdoms on HBO as well. We'll see you next week. Ciao.